Hello and welcome to Dublin for the 2017 Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championships from the Fitzwilliam Casino and Card Club. We're here at Ireland's leading gaming venue for a true extravaganza of poker. This year promises to be the largest and the most exciting version of the annual poker festival to date. We have a truly international field with players from all over the world. Day one action was fast and furious, with the field being cut from 216 players down to 54 semi-finalists competing for the top prize. We lost some high-profile players and some well-known members of the club on the day as players tried to accumulate a good stack to give themselves an advantage going into day two. The field was then cut from 54 down to the final 9 who will compete at the final table for the top prize money. Players were cagey not to go out too early on day two, and everyone was keen to hang on to their stack and slowly grow their position. We had some all-ins, some bad beats, some incredible strokes of luck, as well as some great play. Our unlucky 10th place finisher was Adrian O'Donoghue, who just missed out on the TV table. The final 18 players were in the money, and well done to all of the prize winners at this year's festival. Will the 2017 winner be from Ireland or another great poker playing nation? Let's see how the cards were dealt. Let's meet our final 9 players. In seat 1 we have Eamon Delaney, a recreational player from England, whose favourite player is Daniel Negreanu, so we might see plenty of action from Eamon tonight. In seat 2 we have David O'Kelly from Dublin. David's a regular player here in the Fitzwilliam Casino. His biggest cash win to date is €18,000. In seat 3 we have Will O'Connolly from Dublin, who plays her poker here in the Fitzwilliam Casino, and her favourite player is our very own Padraig Parkinson. In seat 4 we have Sean Prendeville, a professional player from Dublin whose biggest tournament win to date is €200,000, so big tournaments are nothing new to Sean. In seat 5 we have Trim Nikolai from Albania, who's another regular player here in the Fitzwilliam Casino and would be a hugely popular winner. In seat 6 we have Rory Brennan, another professional poker player from Dublin. Rory was down to 2 big blinds on day 2 and fought his way back to the final table. In seat 7 we have Audrius Dogvilaragis, a Lithuanian player whose largest win is €10,000 and is another big fan of Daniel Negreanu. In seat 8 we have Dogardas Ringaila, a Lithuanian poker player who's short stacked going into the final table, so let's see if he can turn his luck around. And our final player in seat 9 is Neil O'Reilly, an investment consultant from Ireland, whose pet peeve is time wasting, so the action should be fast and furious.
€100,000 in the prize pool of this Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship, the bones of which are going to be given away at this final table. I'm Jesse May, joined by Padraig Parkinson. And Padraig, a lot of money and a couple good players here at this final table.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting dynamic. It's kind of what we were expecting at the start of the week. We've got Sean Prendeville and Rory Rees-Brennan representing the pros here, and they're taking on 7 of the club players, so it's a perfect battle. This is the experienced pros against experienced amateurs.
Well, you know, here at the Fitz, I mean, they have a very, very active tournament scene. So you've got guys on this table who have won 10 or 12 tournaments at this very club. So they'll be feeling comfortable in this room.
Oh, of course they will. You know, and they do have a lot of experience between them. You know, it's not this isn't David against Goliath by any stretch.
Blinds are 15 and 30,000. There's about 10.5 million in chips on this table, and we've got a pot brewing between Audrius Dogvilicious and Sean Prendeville, who's your chip leader. It looks like Audrius has raised the 5s early on, Parg, and Sean's called in the big blind. It's gone check on the flop. Oh boy, that's a full house for Audrius.
I'm guessing Sean may have a stab at this. He is a very, very aggressive player, which makes him one of the top players in the country because his judgment is usually impeccable.
I guess he's thinking he could take Audrius off the ace high, if that's indeed what Audrius is raised with. But yeah. He's going to get a short surprise. He's actually drawn dead here, Parg. No way for Sean to win this hand. All he can do is lose chips. And it'll be up to Audrius. That's a very nice call, isn't it? He's just going to let Sean hang himself on the river.
Well, when you're playing against a guy like Sean, it's a pretty good policy because he will bet with absolutely nothing, and you don't want to lose him.
365,000 in the pot. Audrius has only got twice that back, and I think Sean
Sean
is
is
gonna
firing
get,
again.
Yeah, he's going to get a wake-up call here, Parg. He's going to get a wake-up call. Sean's
Is it?
bet 90,000.
Oh, this doesn't look like a guy with a house of fives,
No,
does
he
he?
doesn't.
He looks like a guy with a headache.
Sean's a bit experienced, but this man looks miserable. And
7.
oh no,
raise.
I raise. I think I've heard that one before.
Yeah, I was thinking of folding.
350.
Sean doesn't waste any time.
An early setback for the chip leader. Now, he's got plenty of chips to play with, but he won't want to have too many pots like that, Parg, if he means to go deep at this final table.
5.
And I can assure you he does.
Sit 6, fold. Sit 7, raise to 70,000.
It's an early raise from Audris with the ace-jack, and Dolgardus has put about 20% of his stack in here, Parg. He's the short stack at the table, young Lithuanian.
Well, I think he's decided he's not going to get anteed away here, Jesse, and he's going to play out just more or less any playable hand he gets.
Prendeville's picked up the ace-queen in the big blind, and
This,
that was a lump of blue. He's pushing this ace-queen.
well, that's the advantage of the way Sean played the king-queen against the house of fives, because these guys are... It's very hard to put Sean on a hand, because once he gets involved, he'll use his judgment, and he'll quite often be in there in his bare feet, so...
When you talk about the pressure and the stakes of this tournament, aside
6,
from
7,
Prendeville and Rory Brennan, I think this winning this tournament would be the biggest lifetime cash for everybody else at the table.
Yeah.
And now we've got Dolgardus. He's about an 18% chance to win this hand, which means 82% of the time he is going to be walking. And this is a big moment for him. These 5 cards of fate.
No help there.
Looks like only the jack is going to get him out, or we're going to have lost our first player at this final table.
Yeah, well, he was very short-stacked, Jesse. He didn't really have any choice but to get his money in with anything that was half playable. 2 picture cards was loads.
I'm here with Douglas Ringaila, who's unfortunately just bust out the final table. He's the first player to exit, but you did incredibly well to make it to the final table. There was plenty of entries, and you got down to the final 9, so you must be quite proud of yourself.
Yeah, good.
So you'll be back next year, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm back.
That's incredible. Thank you very much for talking to us. Now back to the final table.
And the circle gets smaller, down to 8, Parg. And Sean Prendeville's lead has increased.
Sit 3, fold. Sit 4, fold.
A couple of people be looking to ladder up on this
raise.
tournament, Parg. I mean, if you can outlast 3 or 4 of the players at this table, you make yourself, I don't know, 7,000-8,000 euros. It's a huge amount of money.
Well, this is where the professionals have a bit of an advantage in that they're all thinking about the win, whereas a lot of the club players, this is a huge payday for them, and they'll be quite happy to move up 1 spot at a time.
1, call.
I mean, you talk about...
And you can't blame them.
No, absolutely not. But talk about a regular. Trim Nikolai, who's just raised us up with the ace-5.
He's here every night of the week.
He has won 17 tournaments in this very club and only had 3 seconds. He's either the greatest heads-up player the club has ever seen.
Or the best fantasist.
One of the 2.
Check. Sit 1.
But top pair here for Trim in a 3-way pot.
Sit
The
5.
blinds are both in. And
Tim has moved all in. He's got top pair, and the 2 will give him a straight.
you can hardly blame him. Looks pretty good. And he's got Eamon locked up. We don't know what Dave O'Kelly has in the
Sit
big
1,
blind.
fold. Sit 2, call.
But he called quickly. He says he flopped it. It's a straight Parg. He's flopped the nut. 6-7. Trim is drawing nearly dead. Well,
Best of luck,
geez, I
guys.
think he's got about a 1% chance here. Not much more.
You're lucky
Best
to
of
have a
luck,
1% chance.
Ace or 5 would be
What?
his best card here.
That's it.
And that is it.
Well, if one guy at this table knows about the ups and downs of tournament poker, it is Trim, who plays a zillion tournaments here a week. Very experienced local player.
Trim, you did absolutely nothing wrong. This is the most unfortunate hand. Tell me what happened.
I was raised pre-flop with ace 5 collapse and got 2 callers, 5 high on the flop and
the check, so make a move, and I got cut.
And he
As in, like, he flapped a straight 6-7.
Yeah,
He flapped the nuts, yeah.
That's extremely unfortunate, but you played so incredibly well. And so you'll be back next year then.
I'd so play,
Definitely.
So, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'm joined here by Paul Howard, the head of marketing here at the Fitzwilliam Card Club and Casino. Paul, thank you so much for talking to us.
Kate.
How are you finding this year's festival so far?
It's fantastic. We have 246 players playing this year, so it's great to have that many people here. It's our first time over 100,000 euros prize pool, so massive prize pool for us, so couldn't be happier.
So tell me, Paul, what have you done differently this year as opposed to previous years?
This year we have a new sponsor, Partypoker Fitzwilliam, have come on board with us this year and have been very supportive of the show. We have a new commentator with Jessie May. We're bringing Jessie over from Denmark to commentate with Portrait Parkinson this year, so that should be an interesting duo. And we're back on Airsport again, Ireland's leading sports channel, so we're happy with the package we put together for members this year.
So what makes the Fitzwilliam Poker Festival different to other poker festivals in Ireland or in the UK?
Well, our festival, we've a combination of professionals and amateurs. They come from all over Ireland and the UK and Europe to play. And we also hold it in the club here in the casino. So we're the biggest casino-based poker tournament in Ireland, and that adds a level of uniqueness to the event.
Seven players left. A lot of history in this room. And in this card room, Parg, the Fitzwilliam has been a poker fixture in Dublin since 2003. And
so has Wilhelmina Connolly.
She's poker royalty as far as Ireland
yeah,
goes.
her mother won the Irish Open Championship, and then her uncle won it.
Now, I've just found out about this. Obviously, I've known about the stories of the great Jenny Haggerty for years. I didn't realize that it was Willow's mother.
9 fold.
That is some of the best poker training you can
Christy
get.
Smith was her uncle.
And Christy
But
Smith
they used to
is her
call them
uncle.
the North Side Mafia because, you could play a poker tournament in Dublin, 20, 25 years ago. There might be 7 out of the same family at a 4-table tournament.
This is a big moment for Willow because she's got a decision. Now there's a raise under the gun from Sean Prendeville. He's got aces, but she's not to know that. He's been raising quite a bit. Audris has moved in with the Kings, and
I think while Wilhelmina's in an awful lot of trouble here, she'd probably move all in to isolate. Yeah, and she's a bit unlucky that the aces are sitting right behind her. And it is Sean Prendeville, who she knows may have anything from nothing to worse.
Oh, you can see when she got snapped off by Sean, he said call instantly. Willow knows it's trouble. Now she has to spike. And Audris as well. We've got 2 players all in. Sean Prendeville could take this tournament 5-handed in 5 cards, Parg.
You can feel the cameras behind me there, right?
Poor Willow. And there's a king. Big fist pump from the Lithuanian.
That's even more trouble for Willow if she wasn't in enough already.
She's going to be... She still had a side pot. 9 on the river would have kept her in.
No, but she's done absolutely nothing wrong there, Jessie. She made what I think is the right move, and I assume most people would.
Willow, you played extremely well. Tell us about the last hand, because you didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, the last hand I really didn't want to get involved, but the lad who pushed in A position is only 7 big blinds, and I pocket 9, so I'm racing it. Hopefully I'm racing. I still have chips behind, so I have to push to stop behind coming in with overcards, and unfortunately I ran into aces and kings.
Well, you were the only woman flying the female flag up there at the final table, so as far as I'm concerned, you should be extremely proud.
No, I'm not proud. I feel like I'm as good a player as all the guys that play. I don't really consider.
No, you're absolutely right, I agree.
Yeah, I think actually if you look at all even just to dawn, the 2 ladies there that cashed, the ladies are the ones that win all this year.
And then there were 6, one of whom, Parkinson, is going to win 30,000 euros and the title of Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Champion.
4 fold.
Sean Prendeville has led this thing from start till present.
This tournament is great, Jessie, because the buy-in was 450 euros, which was big enough to get the professionals involved and small enough to let the club players qualify on the cheap. It's perfect.
9 call.
Looks like Rory Rees-Brennan has raised this one to 90,000 in a mid to late position with a pretty raggedy hand.
3 players.
Neil
It's not
O'Reilly.
a raggedy hand in Ireland.
Oh, there's a king and a 6. But Neil O'Reilly in the small blind and Eamon Delaney in the big blind. And it looks like Eamon has just open shoved here. Now there was,
6, fold.
well, he's shoved for more than the size of the pot, Parg. There was around 300,000 in the pot, and he's put in 700. And you can see by Neil's face that having top pair with the queen kicker is no easy call on this spot, and it's not.
470.
It's not, but he's going to do it anyway.
9, call.
We'll have to see if he's ahead. Eamon Delaney
Because Eamon got king 10 or something like that.
bluffing with the ace.
Ace,
high.
oh, nice bet, Eamon.
It was.
But if we don't get an ace here, we're going to lose the UK's last player in this tournament.
Hugely courageous by the Lancashire hot pot, and he is now stewed.
I'm joined here with Eamon Delaney, who bust out in 6th place with a great payout of €3,900. Eamon, you played extremely well throughout the tournament, but unfortunately finished on a little bit of a bluff. Tell me about the last hand.
Well, I was big blind and I had A7 suited. I was beginning to get a little bit short with my stack, so I called a raise to people in the pot, and I was first to act. The flop wasn't a very good flop for anybody. I wouldn't have thought 3-3-10. So I went all in. Got one fold, but unfortunately the small blind had hit a 10, so it didn't quite work out. So a bit of a semi-bluff.
It didn't pay off this time.
Didn't pay off this time, unfortunately. Yeah, I've had, I had good cards throughout the tournament, but wasn't too good tonight, really.
And you actually haven't played in many tournaments to date.
Yeah, that's right. Not too many.
Okay, and so would this be your biggest payout so far?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
See, you're quite happy with yourself.
Very happy.
Overall.
Really enjoyed it. It's been a great tournament. It's been good way of learning, really, and I've really enjoyed every part of it, including the Fitzwilliam and the environment, the atmosphere. It's been very good.
That's it for part 1 of the Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship. Stay with us for more action after the break. Welcome back to the Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship. Let's get straight back to the action.
The circle gets smaller, the stakes go up. Parg, it's been a few years since I've been here in Dublin at the Fitz. This club is hopping these days.
Yeah, there's tournaments every night of the week. There's 2 on a Saturday, and this is a great move
7,
forward for the
fold.
Fitzwilliam Club. They're putting their club championship in partnership with Partypoker on TV. This is looking to the future.
Folded around to the button. David O'Kelly has announced raise. Ace-Jack a good hand for that. What do you know about this
160.
David O'Kelly, Parg?
Well, David is better known in the Fitz as a cash player. He plays the 1-2 no-limit hold'em game here several nights a week, and he really enjoys the crack. I mean, he's kind of one of those guys that the Fitz is all about. They go in and have a laugh, but he's also got a tournament record. He won the A-Cup in 2015 for about 15,000. So
This will still be the biggest win of his life if he can come through this field here. And this is a very tough player to get through. When I look at Rory Rees-Brennan, who we're looking at now in the big blind, I think back to when he was a kid in 2009, the Partypoker Irish Championships in Galway. He came through a tough field then.
he certainly did, and he's gone on to become an excellent player. He's a good friend of Ono D's, who's gone followed a similar track. And it's also quite well known as a pot limit Omaha player. I can remember him doing very well in the 10,000 buy in pot limit Omaha at WSOP a few years ago.
Well, he's outflopped David O'Kelly. Had the lower ace, called from the big blind, has hit that 6 in the middle. I'm guessing, Parg, he's gonna call this bet. You don't hit a middle pair and then just fold. Not in Ireland. Not if you know what's good for you.
It may have happened, but I haven't seen it.
And this pot is creeping up there, near $1 million. 10% of the chips in play in this pot already.
I think if Rory bets here, David is going to have to throw his hand away.
Well, the question for David is, does he want to bet? He's taking the free card, and if Rory doesn't end up taking this pot, then I'll be very surprised. I mean, does David O'Kelly have a chance to win this with a monster bluff?
No, I think Rory knows exactly where he's at here. And unless David has had an ace-10 all along and has just hit a 10 on the river, Rory's going to win this.
Check.
Yep.
Check.
Check, check.
Showdown,
Rory
please.
Reese Brennan got to take that pot back to an average stack, Parg, and a big danger now.
Yeah,
in
it's
this
looking
field.
ominous now. The two pros, Sean and Rory, are still there with 5 left, and they're both stacked. This is the worst nightmare for all the other guys at the table.
Blinds up to 30 and 60,000, Parg. Getting a little bit serious for the shorter stacks.
But then again, they're all guaranteed at least 5th place money.
Ace Jack suited for Rory Brennan. That looks like a raising hand.
6,
He's
raise,
on
135.
about 25
7,
big
fold.
blinds.
And it's probably the best hand he's had all day. Oh my God, he's run into Ace Queen behind him. The Ace Queen's got a big stack, 3.4 million.
9, raise,
So-
330.
Yeah, that's Neil O'Reilly with the 3-bet. First 3-bet we've seen in a while. And, I mean,
It
what
could be
is...
difficult for Rory here, Jesse, because one guy's got 3.1 million and Rory's got just about half of that. There is a chance that he's been pushed around here.
Could you see him shoving all in?
I'm not sure he knows enough about Neil to do that.
He's gone for the middle option. He's going to peel off this flop. And you know how they say, Parg, in Ireland,
2 players.
anything after the flop is just a whole load of hassle. And that's exactly what Rory Brennan is about to have, because he has top pair out-kicked.
Check.
And Parg, I believe we're about to see, barring any intervention from the deck, could be the end of Rory Reese Brennan.
Could well be.
Nine bet, 250.
1/3 pot bet from Neil O'Reilly. And Rory Reese Brennan, he could either call. He
Yeah,
can't fold here, Parg.
It's an
He could call
interesting
or
bet.
shove if he
Yeah, he
wants
might be
to.
trying to induce a raise from Rory. Rory's taking his time. This is a vital stage of the tournament for him. There's a bit of a lesson there, Jesse. You know, repent at leisure.
Beads of sweat running down Brennan's cheek, running down his forehead. This is serious. He's been playing poker professionally for the guts of 10 years. And, but you don't get
Yeah,
that
he's-
many situations like this.
He's a member of that Southside club, you know, with his friends Owen O'D, John O'Shea, who were the ex-Young Turks, I suppose, but not so ex.
All in. Just the biggest stack in front.
8 changed nothing on the turn, and that all in from Neil lets Rory know that it is all or nothing for him. The deep sigh, Parg. If he does call here, he's only got 3 cards to win. Doesn't know that, of course. This is a very tough fold. Very few players could make this fold here.
Well, this is a real tough spot. He's got top pair, he's got a jack kicker, and if he folds, he'll only have 1 million left, which is about, it's less than 10% of the chips in play.
I mean, hopefully he's been playing with Neil for a few days. I guess he has to make a decision. Is Neil capable of bluffing here? Could he have the 2
Yeah, there may be a
kings?
dynamic here that we don't know about. They could have history going back 2-3 days. I don't know, but Rory's thinking through all the possibilities here. And he's trying to figure out if Neil could have 3-bet him
Oh, look at that face.
without a hand.
This is pain.
It
This
is.
is like getting burned by a radiator. Holy cow.
Yeah, and who said sitting down playing poker was relaxing?
But this is easily the biggest decision he's faced in this tournament. Of course, we heard earlier he's come back. He was down to 2 big blinds
Yeah.
at one stage on day 2.
Yeah, he was telling me.
All the way back here.
Oh my
That's-
God.
Parg, that's an amazing pass. That's world class. That is world class.
That is top drawer, Jesse. Especially in a 5-handed game.
If we could
So Neil O'Reilly now with a whole load of chips, Parg. Now, he's had about 5 wins the last couple of years here at the Fitz, but I believe this would still be his biggest cash ever if he can get one of the top 2 spots.
And he's not alone increased his chip stack size, but he's injured Rory Brennan, which is it's a double whammy.
An unusual limp under to the gun from David O'Kelly lets Neil O'Reilly see the flop for free.
2 players.
And we're head up in this pot. David on about 1.8 million. Neil's got more than twice as many here.
Check or bet.
I don't think he'd get David O'Kelly out of this pot at gunpoint.
I think so.
It's hard enough to get him out of the pot the best of times.
That was 1 kg check by David. 2 pair on the flop. He knuckled it back. And
I'm not sure if it was cagey or sneaky, but I'm going to. If I had to have a bet on it, I'd bet on the sneaky.
He's
trying to
induce,
and it's worked.
Bet.
Well, that's pretty. That is pretty clever stuff. Neil O'Reilly has fallen for the O'Kelly hook and ladder.
He wouldn't be the first.
Raise. 250k.
And there's the hammer, Parg. There's the sledge.
Both players smiling. I think they all did what they had to do there, Jesse.
So.
You know, sometimes in this game, everybody does what they have to do, and one guy finishes up with the pot.
And look at that. 10 would have come on the river.
Oh, my God. So if he hadn't bet the turn, he'd hit the straight on the river. Oh, God, it's a tough game.
It's never easy.
Sit 4, fold.
Prendeville not the chip leader anymore, but he ain't far away. And Rory Reese Brennan down to under $1 million in chips. Part is only about 15 big blinds. He could just open shove here. He could just stick them all in one lump if he wants.
He can do it either way. But this is the benefit of it. He's getting from that great fold with the ace-jack. He's given himself a chance to pick up 2 jacks or a big hand like that and get right back into it.
Snap call from David O'Kelly. He's got the big slick in the big blind, and this is a flip.
Rory's just slight favourite.
I'd rather be the guy. Oh, that's
God, not anymore.
Rory Brennan, 1 card away from 5th place. Gotta be a hook. Jack me up.
This is good news for the rest of the players because it's one of the guys who was favoured at the start of the day out.
Rory, how are you feeling right now?
I'm a bit gutted, to be honest. I was hoping kind of for top 3 or get heads up or something, especially we were all kind of even with 5 left. So 5th, not ideal, but just the way it happens. So still a great tournament, still enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed playing the whole thing. So.
But you also had an incredible fold about 15 minutes ago. You had ace-jack, there was an ace on the turn. What was going through your head? That must have been a really hard call.
I was in hell. That was actually literal hell. Yeah, he re-raised me pre-flop. And he had the big stack at that stage, and there was a guy to my left who had less than me, so he can put a lot of pressure on me because I'm trying to wait for the other guy to bust before I get my chips in, you know, because it's very valuable for me to move up 1 pay jump, even though I didn't in the end. But so he knows that I won't want to get too involved, so he re-raises, so he doesn't necessarily have to have anything. I just didn't think he was going completely bananas. I mean, ace-jack's like the absolute best hand I'll fold there. If I have ace-queen, I'm just snap calling because it's just the best I can have. So with ace-jack, I just believed him.
We're joined here now with the Managing Director of the Fitzwilliam Casino and Card Club, David Hickson. David, thank you so much for talking to us.
Not at all, thank you.
Are you happy with how the event is going so far?
No, we're delighted. I mean, it's been a great success for a 2nd year running now. So a lot of the regulars are taking part, but also a few of the international players are coming along now. So we're really excited about that. It adds another element to the whole event.
And David, you've done this event for a few years now. What differences are we going to see this year in comparison with others?
Well, we sat down after last year and we did if you like, a post-match analysis and decided, well, what way would be, a more beneficial way of running the event. So what we did was we restructured day 2 and the final day as well. So we're hoping that the players won't feel under the same time pressure at the final table tonight as they would have last year. We're starting a lot earlier and we're bringing back the 9 finalists as opposed to 27, which was brought back last year. So I think it'll be an interesting evening for everybody, and we'll sit down again after this event and we'll review everything again and we'll see what we can do better for next year. So we might find that 9 back wasn't a success, we might have to bring 18 back next year or whatever. So we're constantly reviewing and developing and trying to make it better. So that would be our plan going forward.
Just 4 players left, Parg, from a start of over 200 runners.
I know, I was one of them.
30,000 euros. And Sean Prendeville certainly has his eyes on that.
Be the happiest man in the room. He'd be quite happy to see Rory Brennan being knocked out, even though they're friends.
9, raise. 175.
Button pressure from Neil O'Reilly. And I'm starting to like this Neil O'Reilly, Parg. He's got a very good game.
Yeah, he's opened up quite a bit once the tournament started to become short-handed. I like that.
A little ground and pound. He's got Prendeville in the big blind. They've both missed the flop. This is one of those hands where you get to see who's got what in the gut. Well, that's a nice little pair there for Neil O'Reilly. If Prendeville takes a stab at this one, he's going to get.
Oh, he'll take a stab at it. Don't worry about that.
He's the. From what I understand, he's the president of the Never Check Twice Club.
Oh yeah. It's a bit like the devilfish. Check, and he'll have his chips in before the card comes over.
Unfortunately for Sean Prendeville, he's drawing dead here. The question will be, now that is not a terrible bluffing card, Parg. He could easily try and represent a 5 for a straight if he wants to go big, but is it smart?
Well, I'll let Sean decide that. He could also represent the flush.
Absolutely right.
He's going to represent something anyway.
700.
Should he have to say when he puts the money into the pot exactly what he either has or is representing?
It's kind of like calling your shot in pool, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's bet. This is not the easiest decision in the world for.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a squirm, isn't he? I think he will call it. He doesn't mean he has to like it.
Call. And call.
It's the face of a man. Yeah. Bluffing. And he sees the good news. Queen high for Prendeville. Top pair will beat that. Neil O'Reilly. Now over 4 million. Parg, he's verging on half the chips in play. We could be looking at our next Fitzwilliam Club champion.
Well, we are if we look at the 4 of them at the same time. Yeah, Sean, back on the horse, not the least bit surprised.
Quick move in from Audrus Dogvilicious. And Parg, he's got a bit of notoriety in Ireland, for what I understand, this Audrus. He is currently the Irish bear hug champion. And in finals, he beat a bear, an actual bear.
2 years in a row.
All in now with the Queen 10 offsuit.
Sean has snapped it. He knows Audrus was in under pressure. King high, good enough for Sean.
That was, I think, what they call a math call.
Well, no better man.
And Audrus looking for the double up, anything but a king.
You've won every all-in.
Sean is one of those guys who's won so much money playing poker that he's decided to stay in college for the rest of his life. He's finished his primary degree and now he's gone back to train to be a barrister.
Over 700,000 in live tournament winnings, Parg, but he's won more than twice that on the internet, on the online poker scene. One of those poker whiz kids.
I can see you're going to win this one too.
One of the calmest guys you'll ever see at a poker table. I've never seen him get hot and bothered, look upset.
8.55.
Just if he loses money, he just gets on with the next hand.
Got Audrus all in now.
With the threes against David's ace-5.
Yep,
another coin flip. And Aldous has been hanging in all day.
Yes, he's got the kings against the aces.
I think fourth prize here is 9,000, and even if he loses this, he'll be going home with 9,000 without anything good happening to him all day. Well, this is good.
Looking good. Anything but an ace or 5, and Aldris going to have the big double up, and Babu to the showers. 9,000 euros. Aldris out in 4th.
I'm joined here with Audrius Dog Valerigus, who's just buzzed out in 4th place of the final table. Audrius, you've had a pretty eventful day. You went all in loads of times, and it served you quite well up until now. What was your thought process in doing that?
Maybe about 2 times just bluffing, not too much. All the time aces, but it's not work.
And the last hand, tell me what happened there now.
I have a pair of 3s. People call it ace 5. On the river coming ace. And I go on.
And so the event overall, the festival here at the Fitzwilliam Casino and Card Club, would you come back? Have you enjoyed the experience?
Yeah, all the time I come back. Yeah.
That's it for part 2 of the Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship. Stay with us for more action after the break. Welcome back to the Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship. Tensions are really running high, so let's get straight back to the action at the final table.
3 players left, and this one's shaping up nicely. Parg, you know, if you believe that final tables are not where champions meet, it's where champions are made. And both David O'Kelly, Neil O'Reilly making a strong statement for themselves to take this one down. They got slightly different styles, but I like the way both of them are playing.
Absolutely. Well, David has become a bit more active as the tournament gets short-handed, which is what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, Sean opened up that one from the button. A shove in the small blind with the king 10 from Neil. That was good stuff, and he was right. You know, there's been some great winners of this tournament over the years. I mean, the top money winner in Irish poker, Andy Black, is a 3-time finalist here. He got knocked out on day 2. So I don't think this wasn't a tough tournament.
It was tough for me to sit beside him on day 1 and listen to him. Now, Andy's a great player, and he won this tournament 2 years ago and came back and defended last year. Put up a great defence, got to the final again. And a top player.
Neil's raised this one from the button. He checked back the flop with the 6 high. I guess he's going for what they call the delayed steal. We'll see if this one gets through. He's got nothing. 2 pair on board. Sean's winning with the jack.
4 call.
Wow.
I mean, that is
oh my God.
call. That is some call. You couldn't get this man off a pot with a shotgun.
4 check.
Oh.
They're now both playing the board. Neil got there in the end, and Sean is feeling now a bit unlucky.
I certainly was. It was a great call.
Round and round she goes. Prendeville finding this very hard work, head in the hands. He can't get either player to budge. Partypoker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship.
275.
And a little raise, small blind to big blind. You know, Neil O'Reilly's not got much, but when you're 3-handed, Parg, you got to play what they deal you.
25 more.
Well, and when the raise comes from Sean Prendeville, who's been easily the most active player at the table, you know, sometimes you just got to fight back.
This player's fairly evenly stacked, and that is a great flop for O'Reilly. Top pair with Prendeville having the middle pair.
175.
Decision time here for Neil O'Reilly. Do you call Parg? Do you raise? Do you let Prendeville try and hang himself?
You can do either, but letting Prendeville try and hang himself is probably the best move.
It's a bit of a machine gun. Oh, that's a bad card for O'Reilly.
I've changed my mind. You should never let him try and hang himself. What a card for Sean Prendeville.
And what a time to check it. He's given Neil O'Reilly the rope to hang himself with.
9 bet.
And O'Reilly climbing the tree.
Well, you can't blame him. You know, he's played the hand to allow this to happen.
4 is all
Well,
in.
not exactly this, but to get Sean to bet the turn into him.
Well, he's going to think about this, Parg, but I don't see how he can fold here. When you look at that board, there's a couple straight draws there, a couple flush draws.
Well, this is the advantage of Sean's playing style, that if you're hopping in and out of pots all over the place, top pair starts to look like a royal flush.
Problem for Neil O'Reilly is if he calls here and loses, it'll be end of tournament time.
I can't see him not calling, and I certainly wouldn't blame him for calling.
Very unlucky turn card. If he does call, he'll still have, well, looks like 8 outs that they're telling us. Any queen, any 3. A 5 will work as well. But I'll tell you what, this would be a very big pass. And some would say unwise. I mean, Prendeville could easily have a worse hand here.
Absolutely.
Call.
9, call.
Cracked voice, but a clear call.
That's it.
And if Sean Prendeville can avoid the 3, the 5, or the queen,
Hello?
we are going to be heads up.
Unlucky.
Unlucky for Neil O'Reilly, Parg. 3rd place money.
And a great performance. I think he's an investment advisor. I wonder, is he thinking bitcoins at the moment, or have we missed that?
I'm joined here with Neil O'Reilly, who's just buzzed out in 3rd place, and he's played incredibly well. Neil, tell me about the final hand.
Well, I suppose it's short-handed, so it's always a bit tricky playing, and we're quite short-stacked. So I flopped top pair, and I suppose there's enough draws out there that I just thought it was worth just having a look. Unfortunately, he turned 2 pair. So, you know, I didn't catch a lucky river card, so.
Just one of those things?
That's it, yeah.
And how was your overall experience then in the Fitz Casino and Poker Club?
Oh, it's great. I love the Fitz, so most of my cashes have come here. So it's obviously, it's my favourite place to play.
We started with 249 of Ireland's finest poker players playing for a total prize pool of a whopping €100,000. We are now down to the final 2 players, Sean Prendeville and David O'Kelly. One will walk away with the winner's prize of €30,000 and one will have to come back again next year to win the big one. Who will Lady Luck shine on at the Fitz this evening? Let's shuffle up and deal to find out.
Well, this is when it all gets serious, Parg. All the chips on the table, all the money in the middle.
You know, this is what this tournament is all about. We've got one of the top guys in Ireland, one of the top guys in the world, playing the guy who plays in his local club. Now, he's no mug. He has won the A-Cup a couple of years ago. He's an experienced poker player.
But he's done nothing wrong here. He's played nothing but championship cards so far. Question is, Parg, what should his strategy be to take down Sean Prendeville if you're David O'Kelly?
I say try and do a deal. It might be handy.
Flopping top pair is probably the second best option anyway.
Well, and it's probably in David's interest to try and make the pots big, because if you want to play small pots with Sean Prendeville all day long, he will beat you. He'll beat just about anybody. So David will probably try and get the big stick out to take away that advantage that Sean has.
Sean bet 150 on the flop. David has check raised it up to 400, and looks like Sean's going through the 3-bet, Parg. This is
he is
aggressive, to say the very least. I guess if Sean thinks he's going to take David O'Kelly off an ace here, he might want to think again. Kelly seems wedged in.
Well, Sean is usually an exceptionally good judge.
This pot's big already. We're talking about $2 million in the middle.
What a card for David O'Kelly.
Oh my.
He's looking a lot more concerned than he should be.
He's got Prendeville trussed up like a turkey. And I'd say the best. I think put on the brakes and Sean Prendeville are two concepts that have not met the rubber. That's,
850.
that's how he's gotten this far in the poker world. And he doesn't intend to change now. I would say that is going to be the wake-up call.
Fold.
Great pot for David O'Kelly, Parg, and I think he's taking the chip lead.
Oh, he's taking a big chip lead.
Sean Prendeville now down to 24 big blinds. It's about a 3-to-1 chip disadvantage. Luckily, Parg, he's picked up the ace-king here on the button.
Good time to do it.
I love the way David O'Kelly's playing this, Parg. He's been steady, he's been playing his hands, and he's been letting Sean make the pace.
Check. And check.
Top pair for O'Kelly. I imagine he'll be firing out here.
I'd imagine so.
$500K bet.
A tough enough spot for Sean Prendeville. Done good to get away there after the flop without losing a chip.
Very quickly.
Coming up around the holiday period, Parg, 30,000 euros. Pretty good for any family, man. I know Sean Prendeville's a new daddy.
Yeah, he's had a baby quite recently. He said changing nappies is his new hobby. It's less harmful than all the other ones.
Sure, David O'Kelly's got a big family watching. 30,000 euros will put a few things under the tree.
Well, it's 18,000 euros per second, so they'll have to be watching. They're looking up the Argos catalogue at the moment.
And to be fair, this is kind of the way Sean Prendeville has been hoping things go all the time. With both players flopping nothing and him trying to steal the pots.
Sean would be quite happy to play low ball here all day.
Raise.
David's hit a pair on the turn, but I don't think he'll be getting involved here.
No, I mean, Sean's raised him, and if you're O'Kelly here...
Re-raise.
Re-raise!
Oh my God!
Parg, this is genius! What has he seen?
Well, we're sitting here looking at the cards, and we certainly weren't expecting that. And I don't think Sean Prendeville was.
This could be the biggest move David O'Kelly has made in his poker career. He's looked through Prendeville's soul. Bottom pair, Parg, with the 3-bet.
Wow.
I mean, if you're going to choose a moment to make a big bluff, how about heads up against Sean Prendeville for the Fitzwilliam Poker Championship? What a move by David O'Kelly.
Yeah, unbelievable, Jesse. You know, this is the club player playing the top pro, and he's shown absolutely no fear.
Oh, this is a time for Prendeville to get a big double up here. Just limped in with the jacks and... Oh, no. You know what they say about slow playing, Parg?
Yeah, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But, Sean must be absolutely loving this.
This is one of those situations where both players think they're trapping the other.
Absolutely.
We could be seeing the end of the tournament here. If Prendeville escapes from this hand without losing the rest of his stack, it'll
I
be
can't
a
see
miracle.
that happening. Oh, yeah, and he's checked again. He's playing to double up here.
Jeez, you could easily see a situation where O'Kelly raises, or sorry, O'Kelly bets and Prendeville moves all in. I mean, there's nothing out there that beats him besides a deuce.
Sean will be hoping that David has flopped the 10 and he's going to get his double up here.
Bet 600.
600.
Prendeville's only got 800 more in his stack. It's over.
Wow.
O'Kelly's the champion. Deuce 3 to win in hand. David O'Kelly, 30,000 euros and all the glory.
Yeah, 2-3 to win in hand. That's impressive even by Irish standards.
I'm joined here with Sean Prendeville, the 2017 runner-up for the Poker Festival. Sean, how are you feeling now?
I'm happy enough. Great festival, so enjoyed myself.
And you must have been fairly confident going into the final table. You were chip leader with 2.7, almost 2.7 million in chips. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was happy enough. I didn't have the best seat in the table, but I was still pretty confident. I've been going well for the last couple of days, and yeah, I was feeling good. But just fell up short of the last hurdle.
But you were the most aggressive player throughout the day, and you were Padraig's favourite to take the trophy home today. So that's like a nice boost endorsement from a professional player.
Yeah, I was probably a bit too aggressive in the end, but yeah, I gave it my best shot, and sure, what are you going to do?
After 4 long days of play and many ups and downs, we finally have our 2017 main event champion. And here to present the winner's trophy is the poker manager here at the Fitzwilliam Casino and Card Club, Denise Bashari.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You must feel ecstatic.
I'm thrilled, yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a fantastic tournament, and I'd have to pay absolutely fantastic credit to the Fitzwilliam, the staff, Denise, the dealers. It was run really, really well. I think everybody enjoyed it. So fair play to them.
Fantastic.
Even if I didn't win it, it would have been a fantastic experience. It was a really great tournament, and fair play to the Fitzwilliam.
So your play in the final table, halfway through you started to really get involved a little bit more. Was that part of your strategy, or was that just kind of how it unfolded with the cards that you were dealt?
No, I think it was part of the strategy, because I'm a grinder, and I was playing conservatively, but then when you're playing against the likes of Rory and Sean, you know, those guys, if you don't play back at them, you're lost. And no, that was my strategy, and I think they didn't realise that I would play back as aggressively as I did, and I think maybe they underestimated the old fella.
So that's all from us here at the Fitzwilliam Casino and Card Club at the 2017 Party Poker Fitzwilliam Poker Championship. From our new champion, David O'Kelly, and all of us here at the Fitz, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you in 2018 for the Party Poker Fitzwilliam November Poker Festival.